if you have access to the internet or a television, you probably have seen that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock at the Oscars. Now, where does Russia fit into this? Now, I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek when I say that Russia thanks Will Smith, for distracting the news, but I wanted to bring attention to the fact that we are incredibly hypocritical. We are incredibly quick to latch on to the next biggest news story, especially in the Western world and especially where I live in the United States. Russia and Ukraine was dominating the news. It was almost every single article was about the atrocities that are going on in Ukraine. And then all of a sudden, everything, all news media, all social media, everywhere you look, it's Will Smith, Chris Rock, and then the ensuing arguments between people. People supporting Chris Rock, people supporting Will Smith, people supporting Will Smith's wife, people saying that you can't joke, people saying that you can joke about whatever you want. And so the same sort of thing happened with Ukraine and Russia and the conflict, and hey, Russia has the reasons. Ukraine. I mean, I even made a video on Russia and Ukraine, and now I'm making a video on Will Smith and The Rock, or not The Rock, Chris Rock. But he probably would not have slapped The Rock if The Rock made the joke. I doubt he would have made that joke. Interesting to think about, right? But it's just. To me, it just shows how we don't really care about some of these issues, especially something like Ukraine. We say we care about Ukraine. We care about Ukraine, donate and help and all this stuff. We say that, but we don't really care. As soon as something more spicy, as soon as something more interesting, more controversial, or maybe not more controversial, because, I mean, come on, the Oscars are a joke. It's a bunch of millionaires patting themselves on the back for standing up and acting. I mean, come on, give me a break. But we're so easily able to switch from something serious or so-called serious to something so trivial and be able to argue about them back and forth just because that's where we are in the world today, especially, like I said, in the Western world. We have so much free time. We have so much ability to just do what we want that the next thing that comes up, it's a talking point. It's going to be covered on all of these different media outlets and social media. And it's hilarious. Yes, it's funny. Yes, it's whatever. But when I look at the news and people tell me, you got to watch the news, you got to pay attention to what's going on in the world. And when I see it goes from COVID to masks to vaccines to Ukraine to now Chris Rock, it's like it's whatever is going to get people talking, whatever is going to get people riled up, angry, upset, polarized, fighting against one another. That's all they care about. They don't care about what's actually happening in the world. They don't care about what's happening to you. They don't care about you. They care about the bottom line, which is eyeballs and attention and clicks and likes, and that is controversy. Fear sells way more than good, positive things. And this is a natural thing. Controversy, being attracted to controversy, looking for controversy is a natural thing, because as we evolved, if you were going somewhere and you didn't see the lion, or you didn't see the cliff, or you didn't see danger, if you didn't have that fear response, you'd be dead. We would have survived. If we were like, it's not a big deal, and we weren't attracted to it, we weren't interested in it, when we saw people fighting, if we just went, those two tribes over there, they're fighting, I'm just going to go walk right between them. It's no big deal. You're going to get caught in the crossfire. You're going to die. So we have a hypersensitivity to things that are controversial, things that bring about fear. That's why the news should just basically be called the bad news. I recently saw something emailed to me, and it was like, do you want to hear about good news? Like, they literally, every news article from this news thing, with this news email and this news outlet is all good news. They're like, we know that you're sick of only listening to bad news, so we're coming out with, I forget what it was called. I wish I had the thing. I think I deleted the email because I'm like, I don't care about any news. I gotta focus on. I got enough shit going on with myself. I gotta focus on myself to deal with. But it's so true that almost everything that we see is bad news. Why? Is again, it's that natural instinct of our bodies to pay attention to those things. So that's what's going to get more eyeballs. That's what's going to get more clicks, more likes, more engagement, which means more money, right? Before the COVID pandemic, I mean, when Trump, it was really Trump set things off, the controversies, and they would create controversies with Trump. But even that was starting to die down. When COVID came in, it really gave the news media power. There were so many different stations that were going to be going out of business. Newspapers were this money was going out the window. They had no way that they were going to be sustainable in the long term. And then all of a sudden they were given this golden egg, and everything 24/7 was about the news. And they latched onto it, and they're not going to give that power away. And that's why they're jumping to things like Ukraine, and they're going to play up. They've always done this, but they're going to try as much as they can to get controversial things out there so that they can stay alive. Because we're now so focused on things like social media, we're so focused on getting news from one another about real things, about people behind the scenes of people's actual lives. We don't care about these big, huge stories that are oftentimes fabricated or made to be bigger than they are. And I mean, look at the same thing with Chris Rock and Will Smith. I mean, it's like, it's two millionaires arguing over a stupid joke. It's like, it shouldn't matter, but we care about it. Why? Because they're pumping it out there. And again, when you have all the free time, when you have all the money, when you have all of this ability to do what you want, the good life is around, you're going to be attracted to these negative things. You're going to be attracted to controversy. And so I thought that, it'd be funny if Putin gives Will Smith a call and says, "Hey buddy, thanks brother. We appreciate that. It gave us time to kind of settle down and retool a little bit while we go out there and we rape and pillage over there in Ukraine." Not funny, but true when you think about the news articles went away about Ukraine. Now they're coming back, but again, for about a week, it allowed some relaxation from the news on Russia's sake. So I think Putin's probably happy with Will, but again, sad that we have let this happen to us, that we're able to be swayed so easily on different topics and different things that happen just on a whim. And the news media can push and pull us all over the place. So that's my thoughts. Thought that was funny. And until next time, I'll see you then.